Okay, folks, get beans in the ground today, finally. Today is May 3rd, and it's sometime in the afternoon. I've already planted one field this morning, and then I started on this field. Still got a little ways to go on this one, but everything's going pretty good. I am in the 64-15, as I've already noted I'd be using for planting, mainly because it's sharp turning radius. Being able to turn around ends and corners and stuff, so yeah, I had one comment about, if this tractor was strong enough to pull this seed drill or not. I planted all the week with it last fall and had no issues with it. I'm running a little over 3 miles an hour. I don't like to plant too fast. I feel like the faster you go, your seeding rate becomes a little bit less accurate. But anyway, I just like to go at a good slow, steady speed here. And yeah, like I said, I'm only running at 1500 RPM, and it pulls just fine. No problem at all. But the ground this morning, the soil was perfect. The moisture was absolutely perfect. I mean, it was tilling up great. The no-till cultures were really doing their job like I wanted them to. But I can tell here as the day goes on, the ground is drying out a little bit more. It's still planting fine, but I can tell it's just not quite as moist as it was this morning. A lot of that ground moisture escaped, but anyway, yeah, the burn down did good on this field. It's been 3 weeks ago now that I did the burn down on this field, and appeared to have done the job pretty well. The only spots I've got, there's 2 power poles in this field, and using the new sprayer, I had to stop and fold the booms up, go around, fold back up. I missed a skinny little strip around both of these power poles, but it ain't a big deal. I'll just plant through it right now, and I should be spraying this again here now in a couple of weeks, maybe 3, we'll see. There really ain't much of anything growing. I see a little green weed here and there. As small as they are, and as few as they are, I think I'll be able to get by with waiting till about my normal time to spray for weeds over top of the soybeans. These are Roundup graded beans, so I will be using Roundup Power Max on this with AMS, and I may possibly be, some of you probably are aware there are some Roundup resistant weeds now. This particular field had a few of them last year. We identified the weed as mare's tail, the tall, slender weed. It didn't really affect anything much. We did have it My passes with Roundup did not kill it. Burned it a little bit, but didn't kill it. So I may be adding another chemical this year on certain fields, this being one of them, to address that issue. But I'm just going to wait and see if it looks like I've got it, which I think some of these little weeds that I am seeing are just that. Yeah, which is odd. One of the highest yielding fields I had last year, well, actually it was the highest yielding field of beans. It had mare's tail scattered all throughout it in places, and I didn't have high hopes for that field. Boy, it did yield good. So, you know, it didn't seem to bother the combine that much either. But, those seeds, the mare's tail, are a little smaller than bean seeds. You do get a few of them in the bin. But I had the combine set to where most of them should have blown out. But nonetheless, I don't want that stuff getting any worse, and I'm sure it having seen it out last year is going to make it that much thicker. So I'll spray for that accordingly this year. But yeah, everything's going pretty good. I'll try to hop off here in a little bit. I'm on the side of this hill right now. I'll get up there on high ground and may stop and show you my seed depth. I've got it planted at exactly 1 to 1 1/4 inch deep. I have periodically stopped to check that to make sure the conditions are staying the same. Appears to be all right. A little hintful trick that I have on my knife here. You can see I took a Sharpie and made some marks. That first mark is 1 inch, then 1.5 inches, and then 2 inches on there, and that's what I use to dig these beans up with. And I can gauge how deep my seed are on that. But on the first field I did, I actually measured out the weight of the seed and put in the drill this morning, and it came out almost right on the spot as far as the seeding rate. Maybe a shy heavy, but that's okay. I bought extra seeds, so I'd rather be a little heavy than a little too not enough. But this field, which I've got a lot of corners in this field, so I'm having to overlap, so I'm having to use seed in there that I don't hate that I don't necessarily have to, but when I go in these triangle corners like that, it's hard not to. So it looks like it's using a little bit too much seed by the gauge back there on the drill, but all I know to do is keep going and see what I have towards the end of the field, if I have to add or whatnot. But this field I'm planting against the direction that the beans were planted last year. This field had wheat on it last year, so it had late beans on it that were running this way. And this was the ground that I was going to plant corn on before we backed out and planted corn. So that's why we're putting beans back in it again. As far as the variety, this field is getting the Pioneer 47T 36Rs on it. I noticed when I was at the co-op yesterday, a lot of people are getting a 5.2 bean, which we're actually going to plant a 5.2 behind wheat this year. after some research, talking to Pioneer. So, you know, some of you may say that ain't a, you know, late enough bean for that. We're gonna try it. There was some data last year that suggested that that might be a good yielding bean behind wheat. So we're going to try it. I normally plant a 5.6 or 5.7 bean behind wheat, but I was advised to try this 5.2, and I'd actually looked at some data on that bean before I even talked to Pioneer about it. Matter of fact, when I went to Pioneer, I was looking at a 5.4 bean, and I had that 5.2 bean written down on my piece of paper. The guy looked at my notes I had there, and he took his finger and he stuck it on that 5.2. He said, "That's the bean you need to plant right there." And I said, "Alright, I'll take your word for it." So, that's what I'm going to be doing behind the wheat. But, yeah, there's a lot of wheat stubble still in this field. This field actually had wheat on it 2 years in a row, and late beans on it 2 years in a row. So this is the first early beans that this field's seen since we've been back row cropping. So, yeah, those turbo cultures are doing their thing. They're going in pretty deep. So it's giving me a really good seed bed. I feel like the only thing that would improve this seed bed would be some row cleaners, I think. But I've done a little research on row cleaners for the Great Plains drill this type, and I haven't really run across anything yet. I'm sure there's something out there. Normally you don't see row cleaners on a seed drill just because there probably ain't enough room between, say, 7.5-inch spacing to do so. But I have got every other one blocked off, and I'm actually planting on 15-inch rows. So I very well could use a row cleaner on this, I think. But I mean, it's cutting through this stuff pretty good, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. This is what I'll be doing until late tonight. Hopefully I'll get all the fields that were prepped and ready done today. And hopefully my uncle will get his 6330 running right, and he'll get to plowing on that new ground and have it ready to plant here soon. I've got one larger field and another medium-sized field. Pretty wet ground. If we keep this dry weather going, I'll be able to do burn downs on them and may be able to plant them here before I was expecting. Those fields are usually mid-May to late May. It's usually the first good chance you get to get in those fields when they're wet. This field's got one wet spot in it that I can't plant. It ain't very big, but that's causing me some of these triangles because I had to go around it just so I have laid the field out here. I'm having to plan into my rows at an angle of the triangle. But that is what it is. Yeah, this field I had converted. This was a row crop field. One of the ones I grew up in, you could say. It actually belongs to an uncle and an aunt of mine. They jointly own this field together. And I I converted it to a hay field. It sat dormant for a year or two. I bush hogged it. Then I turned it into a pretty good hay field for 1 year. And then I killed it off and planted wheat in it and started row cropping again. So that's kind of the story behind this field. Anywho, that's that. Everything's working well right now. And maybe I'll get out here in a little bit, dig up a row and show you the seed, show you how well it appears to be planted. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I thought I'd stop here for just a minute here and let you see kind of the seed beds here. As you can see, there's a lot of wheat straw here left over. This was some of the grass that was killed off here during the burn down. But that's my wet spot right down in there that I'm going around. You can see a little spot I didn't even get when I sprayed down there. But anyway, this field's got kind of a hill to it. Anyway, we'll dig up one of these here if I can find a clean enough spot. Like I said, there's my marks here on my. I had a mark down here for ½ inch, but it done wore off. But that's my marks for my depth. Dig down here and see if I can find a seed for you. Oh, there's one right there. You can see it. So what I'm looking at here is you can see that seed. It's a little trench right here. It's a rib of that press wheel. So basically just kind of look right there and you can see my mark. That seed's running about 1 inch deep there. So that's the name of the game. Yeah. That's what it looks like. That's what we're doing. I need to check my seed here while I'm at it. I still got a fair many in here. There's that gauge again. But yeah, so far so good. I'll let you see this turbo coulter right here. You can see kind of how deep it's going here. It's going at least that deep, good 3 inches. You can kind of see the openers through there. You can see where I took off the every other one, so I don't have that pressure lifting up on the drill. But yeah, this is a turbo coulter, and then the one back there is a aftermarket turbo coulter. You can see how the flutes on this one are straight and how the ones on that and over there are curved. But they seem to both do just as good a job on fluffing the ground up. But anyway, yeah, I'll keep at it here and try to get all this done today. Thanks for watching. Okay, folks, stopped here. Check seed just real quick. I'm on my last little field here for today. a little over 3 acres right here. And I will be caught up at the moment until the next field becomes ready. So I'm making real good timing with the 10-foot drill versus using the Great Plain, the 606 6-foot one I used last year. Anyway, yeah, everything here's pretty dead from that burn down. Feel like it's planting pretty good. This field's got some terraces. Well, they're not bad terraces, but they're just kind of sloped and humped there, so yeah, everything still seems to be working good. Don't see anything wrong. It's moist enough to just stick to the press wheels here every now and then, but it ain't enough to make a big deal. Check the planting depth here, although it's going to vary some with this slope terrain. But should be right here. My marks are about gone off the knife. All I got's 1.5 inches mark left. But, I'll find one here in a second. There's one right there. Kind of the side of the furrow a little bit. It's still running around 1 inch deep. Try here again on another spot. I picked one out right off the bat. It's very deep. There's one kind of really shallow. Oh, these are so shallow. I guess it's just this terrain here. Stuff here. I don't know if I'm digging straight. Here's one. That one's about right. So anyway, yeah, I'll keep on at it. Finish here. Looks like I'm gonna finish before dark. Thank goodness. Back home. I don't know, I might get the other tractor hooked to this mower. I don't know if I'll mow any tonight, but I may get prepped. I might mow some tomorrow night. If I don't do any tonight. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Soybean planting is underway. See ya.